Congratulations, senior class of 2012. It is an honor to stand here in front of you today.
The past 4 years have flown by, and we all remember our first day of school. It was an important day for us as it was our first taste of the Chaparral culture and each other. We remember Mr. Larson with his boundless energy, and now he stands in front of us as we give our speech today.
We remember Mr. Anderson talking about taking advantage of every day here at Chaparral and then ripping a $20 bill in half while we laughed to prove his point. On the first day of school, our link crew leaders, or upperclassmen who volunteer their time to help freshmen adjust to high school, led us through an activity known as 64 squares. 64 blank white sheets of paper spread out on the ground make a game board.
We navigated our way across the game board, avoiding arbitrarily deemed unsafe squares. As a freshman, I did not realize the significance behind this activity, but 64 squares serves as the perfect metaphor for our journey through high school. And with Mr. Peterson's Get Involved echoing in my mind, I did get involved my freshman year winning Chaparral Idol.
2 steps forward.
Last year, realizing there was no merit organization for musicians, I started the Chaparral chapter of the Trian Music Honor Society.
3 steps forward.
Although my extracurricular life was going well, it was difficult finding a balance between my academic and social lives, a problem to which we can all relate.
2 steps back.
Once I struck this balance, the opportunities Chaparral offered me were limitless. Within the walls of Chaparral, I learned Spanish, made friends with diverse interests, and challenged myself personally and academically.
2 steps forward. Although I am also now on the other side of the 64 squares, my journey through high school has taken a much different path. My freshman year, I signed up to participate in marching band. That year, I learned how to march, how to treat an awful sunburn, and how to stuff all of my hair into a marching band hat. That year, I also gained a family.
3 steps forward.
Sophomore year, one of my very dearest friends was diagnosed with anorexia. She spent nearly a month in the hospital. School was not the same without her.
1 step back.
Junior year, I got to be opinions editor of our school newspaper. I will always remember our work nights, called Drop Dead, where we would work late into the night until the newspaper was finished. Mrs. Mum would always order spinach and artichoke pizza, and though we complained about the nasty combination of pizza and vegetables, I think we all secretly loved it.
2 steps forward.
Senior year, I was chosen to be drum major of the marching band. Although we didn't place extremely high at state,
1 step back.
It doesn't matter. I will forever cherish the memory of silly stringing Mr. Heilman after the last band practice of the year.
2 steps forward.
And now, here we are. We are at the other side of the 64 squares. We have sometimes veered off the right path.
Some steps backwards, and sometimes we felt like giving up. But despite all this, our steps were overwhelmingly in the positive direction.
Our journey has ended. We've made it. Graduation is a time to look back and reflect upon the 64 squares behind us.
This game of high school certainly hasn't been easy, but thankfully we haven't played alone.
Our success rests on the shoulders of the staff members here at Chaparral. They have taught us so much more than math, reading, science, and writing. They have taught us to think and to question and to love learning.
We also owe a lot to the parents sitting in the stadium today. They have inspired us and guided us on our journey. And we also owe a lot to those sitting beside us today. Our peers here at Chaparral have pushed us to do our best.
Although graduation is a time to look back on all this and be thankful, it is not a stopping point. Graduation is merely a rest stop in the bigger game called life. An unknown number of squares stretches in front of us.
We don't know all the rules, but it's a beautiful journey. And as you, our classmates, scatter in different directions, our hope for you is this.
We hope that a majority of your steps are in the forward direction. We hope that you look towards the future with excitement and wonder,
while always remembering your past and to take care of one another.
And just when you're on the verge of success, the sky starts to change.